Welcome, my dear students, to our new session. And in this session, we are going to study about the ultrasonic flow meter. Okay, as I told you that the ultrasonic flow meter. Okay, generally we are going to study about the two important parameters in the ultrasonic flow meter, my dear students. Okay, and ultrasonic flow meters, the measure for the measurement of flow, we are going to use two types of instruments, and in these two types of instruments, I'm going for the one by one instrument in a detailed manner. Okay, so the first one itself is called the Doppler effect. Okay, the Doppler effect ultrasonic flow meter, my dear students. Okay, so ultrasonic flow meter, in that the working on the two principles. So the ultrasonic flow meters, the works on two different principles, my dear students. Okay, what are the two principles? Okay, so first one is Doppler effect ultrasonic flow meter. Second one is transit time or time of flight ultrasonic flow meter, my dear students. Okay, now we are going by one in a detailed manner. Okay, this is the physical device. Okay, physical device of the Doppler effect ultrasonic flow meter, my dear students. Okay, this is connected to the pipe. Okay, this particular one is connected to the pipe. Okay, with respect to that, we are sending the ultrasonic signals. Okay, this is the flow of the liquid inside the pipe, my dear students. Here the liquid is passing inside the pipe, my dear students. Okay, so here whatever the liquid I'm passing, I have connected the full to know the measurement of the flow. I'm going to use this particular one with respect to this particular instrument. Okay, these here we are going to get the values, my dear students. Okay, now we are going for the internal architecture of the this Doppler effect ultrasonic flow meter, and how it works, and what are its principles. Everything I would like to share with you. Okay, I told you that the Doppler effect ultrasonic flow meter, okay, is a stationary. Means first, what is a Doppler effect? Doppler effect means a stationary source of sound is emitting a sound of certain frequency to a listener who is moving away from the sound and who is coming into the sound. Okay, if any stationary sound, when he is moving away, he listens very low frequency of pitch. Okay, when any object is moving towards the stationary one, then we are going to listen with high voice. That is the Doppler effect. Okay, so here what ultimately I'm going to tell you itself is that see, ultrasonic flow meters works upon the principle of the two. One is the Doppler effect and second one is the transit time. That's the reason the first flow meter is called that is Doppler frequency shift flow meter, and second one it's called transit type flow meter, my dear students. Okay, now here what I'm going to tell you, let us listen carefully. Here generally the first instrument is called the ultrasonic flow meter. Okay, in this ultrasonic flow meter, we are going to use the Doppler effect. This is Doppler type, that is, or Doppler frequency shift flow meter. In this one, what I am going to do itself is that see, I am going to take it the flow of the liquid, inside the pipe. Okay, the flow of the liquid inside the pipe, my dear students. Okay, here what ultimately I'm going to do itself is to measure the flow rate of a fluid carrying suspended particles. Okay, here I'm going to make the flow of the fluid, that is carrying the suspended particles. Okay, so here it is moving inside the liquid, is having the suspended particles. Okay, continuous wave of ultrasonic signal of a frequency around how much 10 megahertz. I'm going to apply how much, my dear students? 10 megahertz. I'm going to apply. Okay, is generated by which one? It is generated by the that is electric crystal oscillator. The signal is scattered by moving. Okay, the signal inside itself is scattered. Okay, and produces, okay, scattered by moving suspended particles to produce a signal of change in frequency. Yes, definitely. See, because of the suspended particles that is present inside the liquid, there is a change in the frequency that which is detected at the receiver. That is going to be detected at here. That is at the receiver, my dear students. And this is the transmitter section. And this one is the here. What I'm going to take it. This one itself is the pipe wall, my dear students. Okay. Here various parameters which comes into the picture. Okay, so here whatever the change in the frequency or the change in the frequency shift is proportional to the, okay, then what happens, the velocity of the fluid flow, and which in turn is proportional to the, okay, volume flow rate of the liquid, that I'm going to depict you in a detailed manner. Okay, my dear students. Okay, here every parameter I'm going to explain over here. What is Vf? Okay, here Vf is this one. Vf is what, flow velocity. And what is Vt? Vt is what, Vt is the sonic velocity of the transmitter material. The sonic velocity of which material? Transmitter. And Vs is the sonic velocity of the fluid. This is the sonic velocity of the fluid. And Ft is equal to what, my dear students? Transmission frequency. Transmission frequency. And del F is the change, that is equal to Doppler shift of frequency, or the change in the frequency. And theta t itself I am going to take it over here. And theta t is the angle of transmitted sonic beam. Angle of the transmitted sonic beam. And what is theta? Theta itself is called, okay, angle of entry. Here that this is theta. This theta is equal to angle of entry of the transmitted beam in the fluid. Angle of entry of the transmitted beam inside the fluid. Okay, and these are all the parameters. Means what happens, I'm sending a signal of frequency over here. Because of the suspended particles of this particular liquid, there is a change in the frequency, and this is measured by the Doppler frequency shift flow meter. This is measured by the Doppler frequency shift flow meter, my dear students. Okay, now I told you the principle of operation is which one I am sending. Ultra signals are passing through the fluid. Okay, and the particles are suspended in the fluid, shows the frequency shift. It is proportional to the velocity of the fluid. Okay, how it is proportional, I will show you later. Okay, and here working principle. See, I told you that the working principle is, it is used for the reflected electronic sound to measure the fluid velocity. Measuring the frequency shift between the frequency source, receiver, fluid carrier, and relative motion. We are going to study all the parameters. Okay, and resulting frequency shift, okay, is called Doppler effect. Means, my for measuring the frequency shift, there is a change in the frequency that is going to be happening, that I am shifting from where to where, that I am shifting from f of t to, I'm shifting to ft minus del f. There is a change in the frequency. Okay, so this is from the source, and this is from the source, and this is to the, that is receiver, or this is the transmitter, we are going to call it as a, or this is we are going to call it as a receiver. Okay, and resulting change in the frequency shift is called, which effect? Which is called Doppler effect, my dear students. So this is called Doppler effect. Okay, now we are going for the equations that are governing. I told you that, see, from that particular equations that are you are going to get in Doppler flow meter. What are the equations? I told you that, the change in the frequency is equal to ft. Okay, 2 into ft vf by vs into sine theta. This is called Doppler law of frequency shift. Okay, this formula is very very important. Second one is Snell's law of refraction. Sine theta by vt equals sine theta by vs. Okay, these are the two formulas you are going to get from the Doppler shift or Doppler, okay, frequency shift flow meter. Okay, so by taking these particular equation, let us call this equation as this one, this value, and this particular equation as this one. Then what happens, by doing these particular simplifications on these particular equations, then you are going to get the final equations that I am going to show you in the next page. Okay, here what is Vf? I already told all these particular things are the various parameters already I have mentioned in the diagram, my dear students. Okay, now we are going for the, okay, so what is the final formula you are going to get. Okay, after getting this particular one, you are going to get the final formulas are very very important, my dear students. Okay, so what are the formulas you are going to get? That is pretty important. Okay, here I am going to get after that particular equations, by taking the above equations, the final formulas you are going to get, that is vf. Okay, vf is equal to, okay, that is vt divided by, okay, 2 into ft. Okay, ft into sine into theta t, my dear students. Okay, into, okay, del f, del f. Okay, and here what I going to tell you itself is, this total one, okay, this total one is called what, my dear students? This total one is called, we are going to call it as what? This one is called K, my dear students. Therefore, VF is equal to K into del F, my dear students. Okay, you are getting this particular formula, my dear students. What is K? Here, K is nothing but what? Sensitivity factor. So, we are going to call it as K as what, my dear students, means it is called sensitivity factor. Okay, sensitivity factor, my dear students. Okay, now what I told you that the change in the frequency shift. Okay, when I'm going to take the change in the frequency shift, which is equal to, this is proportional to the velocity of the fluid flow. This is proportional to the velocity of the fluid flow, which in turn is proportional to the volume flow rate of the liquid, which in turn is proportional to the volume flow rate of the liquid, my dear students. This is regarding the Doppler frequency shift flow meter. Now, when I'm going to use this particular flow meter, the abstraction less flow. Okay, see here, the because of the more that is suspended particles, the abstraction will be less and can be installed outside the pipes also. We can install outside the pipes also, my dear students. This particular frequency that I already shown you in the beginning. Okay, and a pressure drop. What are the pressure drop? That is equivalent to the length of the straight pipe. Okay, so if the pipe is this much big, okay, the pipe is this much big, then whatever the pressure drop that is occurring inside the pipe, that is okay, equivalent to the straight of this particular pipe, my dear students. And low flow cutoff. Okay, low flow is moving because of the suspended particles, and the cost is relatively low, my dear, and low power it will take, my dear students. Okay, now limitations. Doppler flow meters. Okay, the performance highly depend on the physical properties. See, always the performance of these particular flow meters depends upon the sonic conductivity, means the ultimately depends upon the ultrasonic signal which we am sending through the pipe, and particle density. So how what are the liquid that is suspended impure particles that are present, and flow pipe. Okay, and the flow pipe through the, that is flow profile through the general pipe, my dear students. Okay, sonic conductivity means, see what are the signal that is flowing here, signal that is flowing inside, and how many, what are the particles and what are the densities of all those things, and flow profile, how the liquid is flowing inside, my dear students. Okay, now with that we are completed about this particular method, my dear students. Next we are going for the, okay, next ultrasonic flow meter. This is animation. How it will be there means, this is the flow of liquid inside. Okay, here I have connected the ultrasonic signals. This is the transmitter section, and this is the receiver section. Here I am going to give the frequency. Okay, here I am going to give the frequency. The frequency is ft. Here the change in the frequency because of the suspended particles is this one, my dear students. Like that. It is happening. Okay, now we are going for the next flow meter, and that particular flow meter is called transit time ultrasonic flow meter principle, my dear students. Okay, transit time ultrasonic flow meter is the time for the sound. Okay, how much time it is taken for the sound to travel from the transmitter and the receiver. Okay, this method is not depending on the particles of the fluid. Okay, it is depending on the time, my dear students. In the previous one, it depends on the particles. That's the reason that is called a Doppler frequency shift flow meter. This one is called a transit time flow meter because it does not depend on the particles. Okay, now this is the physical shape of the transit type flow meter, my dear students. Okay, so here the transit time flow meters are used for the measurement of the time, my dear students. We need to use this particular kit, okay, to connect the, okay, the pipe wall. We need to use all these particular parameters, my dear students. Okay, generally for your understanding, I'm showing the physical device. Okay, now here, okay, see, suppose here I'm going to use the signals in such a wave over here. Okay, see here, I'm going to take it as a receiver, okay, B, that is transmitter A, receiver B, transmitter B. Okay, suppose a pulse of ultrasonic sound of certain frequency is emitted by a source. Okay, it is emitted by a source. Okay, so here I'm going to emit by a source over here. Okay, here generally what happens, transmitter B to receiver B, I'm sending the ultrasonic sound, okay, over here. Okay, similarly here to here in this direction, here to here in this particular direction. Okay, so here what is happening, if the fluid inside the pipe is stationary. Okay, so if the fluid inside the pipe is stationary, means the liquid is not moving, then sound will be refracted. The sound will be refracted by the fluid, and will be detected at the receiver after some time. The sound will be refracted, and there is no change in the frequency, and that will be detected at the receiver after some time. Okay, second time, if the fluid flowing with certain velocities. First time is a fluid is a stationary. Okay, first time I'm going to take it as a fluid is a stationary. Okay, then there is no change in the frequency. Now second time fluid is moving. Okay, I'm going to fluid is moving, my dear students. Okay, when the fluid is moving, then what happens, there is a change. Okay, the velocity of the propagation of the sound changes. Okay, then the velocity of the propagation of the sound changes, depending on the direction of the fluid flow, depending on the direction of the fluid flow. Therefore ultimately the time also changes, the time also changes, my dear students. And that this change in time, this change in time, what are the change in the time we are going to take it, is proportional to the velocity of the fluid flow. That is proportional to the velocity of the fluid flow, my dear students. And this principle is called, okay, and it will be used in, that is transit time ultrasonic flow meter, my dear students. Okay, now I'm going for the equations in a detailed manner. Okay, I told you that ultrasonic flow meter depends on the angle or the parallel to the pipe wall. Okay, is always mounted at an angle or parallel to the pipe wall. Here I have mentioned these flow meters I kept at an angle. This I kept at a certain angles. Okay, okay. Next, short duration ultrasonic waves. I'm going to send that these waves are short duration ultrasonic waves are transmitted through the fluid. Okay, and the velocity of the ultrasonic waves is increased or decreased by the fluid velocity depending on the direction of the flow, depending on the direction of the flow. Means the velocity of the water, the ultrasonic waves you are going to repeat, is increased or decreased by the fluid velocity depending on the direction of the flow. If the velocity is that is very low, okay, then what happens, okay, the fluid velocity is very low, then what happens, generally fluid velocity should be low, velocity is low. Okay, fluid velocity is high, then automatically the velocity becomes very high. Okay, ultrasonic waves also changes. Okay, now I am going for the schematic diagram which I had shown that, that is okay, arrangement of the ultrasonic flow meter. Okay, here how I am going to tell you is very important, my dear students. Okay, here two transmitters of piezoelectric devices A and B are at a downside of the flow tube with an angle, and two piezoelectric transmitters A and B are connected to the pipe at the top side of the angle. See here, I have connected two down and two up. Okay, this is connected over here, two down and two up at certain angle. It is given certain angles, and I'm going to keep it at a certain angles, my dear students. Okay, now the fluid flows with a velocity v. Yes, I already told you there only, the fluid flows with velocity v. Okay, the signal transmits the short duration ultrasonic that is signals through fluid at a velocity of L. It is moving, see the distance itself is, what is that, L, that is transmitted short distance. Okay, the signal received by receiver A now increase it to C plus V cos theta, because it is in the direction of the fluid flow. Okay, and the reception, okay, that is the reception frequency of the receiver will be FA, which is equal to FA equal to formula. Okay, that is equal to FA. This is the formula, C plus V cos theta by L, my dear students. Okay, reception frequency. Okay, similarly, theta is what I'm going to tell you itself is the angle between the path of the sound and the pipe wall. And what is L? The distance between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay, similarly, we are going to take the velocity of the ultrasonic signal from a transmitter A and to the receiver B will be reduced by the fluid. Okay, and it creates C plus V cos theta, my dear students. Okay, and its reception frequency is equal to FB is equal to C minus V cos theta by L. Okay, that is C plus B. Okay, yeah, what is F of A? You are getting F of A equal to C plus V cos theta divided by L. Okay. Here it is a minus. Then the difference in the frequency is equal to you are getting 2V cos theta by L. And that is the frequency is reciprocal of time. Then you can reverse it because F is reciprocal to 1 by T. Then you are getting this particular one. Okay. Here which I have mentioned the duration. Okay. Now. So by measuring the repetition, okay, the difference in the repetition frequency and knowing the value of theta and all those things can be measured. So if you know that del f, you know the value by knowing the theta and L, then you can measure the velocity of the liquid, my dear students. Or the flow velocity is also measured by the time difference between the two pulses in either directions. In either directions. Okay. Finally, what are the advantages of this particular transit type flow meter? Means it is bidirectional measuring in instrument. We are going to keep it on the either sides of the pipe wall. We are keeping this piezoelectric crystals A and B. That's the reason it is a bidirectional measuring capability. It is giving very good accuracy, so the results are very accurate and response is in a quick time. It can use for the more frequency ranges. It can be used for any size of pipe sizes. Means you can use it. You can measure the measurement of the flow in any big size pipes also. Measurement is independent of the velocity of the sound because the velocity of the sound itself is a constant. So measurement is independent of this particular variable, my dear students. And the disadvantage itself is that the cost is much more high, my dear students. And advantage also, okay, it is available in different sizes and more number of advantages are there. Good accurate results it will give. Okay, so mostly it is used in liquids without any pressure in applications. Okay, wherever the pressure will not be taken into account, there only we are going to take this particular one, my dear students. Okay, in the next session we are going for the numericals. Before that, I'm going to conclude about the limitations. Okay, so it can be it gives the reliable high frequency sound transmitted across the pipe. Okay, see it gives only the stable frequency sound that is transmitted across the pipe. Okay, and liquid slurries with excess solids or entrained gases may block the ultrasonic. Okay, so it is limitations itself is that whatever the liquid that is passing inside the pipe will be does not contaminated with any slurries or any solid particles that are suspended in the liquid. Okay, and these are not recommended for primary sludge. Okay, and mixed liquor or septic sludge. Okay, so activated carbon sludge. Okay, generally we are not using not recommended for these particular. Okay, the liquids having primary sludge or mixed liquor, septic sludge or activated carbon. Okay, these set of materials should not be present inside the liquid. If it is present, then we cannot use this particular ultrasonic, that is transit time flow meter, for measuring of the that is flow of the liquid. Okay, and liquids entrained gases cannot be measured. Okay, liquids with combination of the gases cannot be measured reliably. Okay, only if we can pass only liquids, it can this particular transit type flow meter works in a good manner, or it will be okay with gases. It is okay, but a mixture of liquid plus gases, again this particular instrument is a failure one. So these are the limitations, my dear students. Okay, in the next session I'm going for the numerical based upon this particular one, my dear students. Okay, thank you.